Hello everyone, Steve Putnam here with you this week, and we're so glad that you're with us this week, and we're so glad that we're all here together on this show. And I've got a wonderful first guest, somebody that if you spend a lot of time on C19, you may have already seen. So let's flip this camera around and introduce you to Mr. Thomas Manning, who is the co-host of our C19 show here called Meet Me at the Movies. Also a recent graduate of Gardner-Webb University, my alma mater as well, at least one of my alma maters, and I think English and communication, so that's awesome. But you're also a member of the North Carolina Film Critics Association, and we're glad to have you here on our show with us.
Oh, well, yes, sir. Thank you so much for the invite, and I'm happy to be here.
Let's see, there are two things I love to talk about, food and movies. so if you had only brought some food, we could have just cut all this camera stuff off. We could have had a great time the rest of the day.
Next time.
Next time. Listen, summer blockbusters. Oh my gosh! I know you do you've got my envy because you do the C19 show that I'm looking. Oh man, I'd love that. That would be awesome because I love movies. So tell us though, we got a big summer. Summer's always a big time for movies, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to return the favor sometime and have you on Meet Me in the Movies. Since,
you do that.
Yeah.
We could do this.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know. And this is a big time. You know, starting the summer every year for as long as I can remember. That's when the big ones come out, isn't it?
Yeah. And Memorial Day weekend, pretty much the unofficial kickoff to summer, and definitely starts with Top Gun Maverick, which has already seen a ton of box office success, broke domestic records at the box office. It was second all-time Memorial Day weekend, only behind Pirates of the Caribbean in 2007. So, Tom Cruise coming back, he's always going to bring spectacle. I saw Top Gun Maverick twice opening weekend, and once in Dolby Cinemas, once in IMAX, and just everything about it from, just the pure spectacle of it, but also the narrative and emotional through line that's in there. It's got something for all audiences, and it's one that we were talking about a little bit before the show. I think it's going to be one that's going to be playing in theaters all throughout the summer, and audiences are going to have plenty of time to discover it and enjoy and appreciate it.
Well, and I know, see, from my perspective, which is different from yours, I'm sure, because there's no way. I was there for the original, in the theater, and it caught everybody off guard. It was like one of these movies, like, okay, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty good, but wow, I mean, it just blew everything up, the summer that it came out. And it's actually one of the first films that my wife and I actually went to on a date night together. And so we've been looking at this, and we were thinking, great, how many years has it been since they made because you would have thought a movie like that comes out, it blows everything up. The next year they're going to be doing another one. And usually when sequels come out, people all go into them like, because oftentimes the next one doesn't live up to the billing of the first one. But that's not always true, is it?
Yeah. So 36 years have passed since the last one.
36. I got a lot down.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Yeah.
That's a little scary. I knew it was over 30, but oh my goodness. Yeah. That's close to 40. But go on, carry on. I didn't interrupt.
Oh, no, for sure. The last one was in 1986, and that was directed by Tony Scott, the great Tony Scott. This one is directed by Joseph Kosinski, and he actually has experience directing legacy sequels. He directed Tron Legacy in 2010, which was another film that was like 30 plus years after the original. So this kind of seemed to be a perfect fit for him, and he did an incredible job with the material and staying true to the heart of the original and having Tom Cruise play such a role creatively and emotionally with a story, but also bringing his vision as a director. He kind of has an eye for the technical, pushing the technical boundaries, which he did in Tron Legacy. And in this film, building on those incredible technical foundations of the original Top Gun, which had really pushed the boundaries as far as, shooting and filming inside of a plane. This one, takes it even a step further. And so major props to Joseph Kosinski from his directorial standpoint on Top Gun Maverick. And
I know that in this particular film, there's a lot of expectations because of the original, because of how many times you hardly can't turn your TV on in a 7-day period without seeing a rerun of Top Gun someplace. So everybody on the planet has seen this film multiple times, and that just keeps ramping those expectations up. And it's like you said, oftentimes that second movie doesn't quite live up to the billing of the first. And there are a few times it has, you know, like most people will go back to the Star Wars legacies and say, okay, the second film was actually better than the first and it's probably the best one of the whole series that they've ever made. But in this case, he really did sort of, it sounds like, I haven't seen it yet, so don't you dare reveal anything. It sounds like he knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, he did, and just some of the that relationship in the original between Maverick and Goose was so pivotal. And in this film, I'm not spoiling anything because it's in the trailers, but Goose's son is in this film, and the son is played by Miles Teller, and his character dynamics with Miles Teller and Tom Cruise, that relationship is just as pivotal to the sequel as the original relationship between Goose and Maverick, but it's a different relationship, and it's kind of told in a different fashion in the sequel, and it kind of repackages something familiar and does it in a very fascinating and nuanced way.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I know we could sit here and talk about Top Gun the whole time, but the summer does have other films. So I know that you probably have a few more on your list that you would like to get to, so fire away.
Yeah, so kind of another one that kind of tracks along that same legacy sequel type of realm. We have Jurassic World Dominion, and the original Jurassic Park film, directed by Steven Spielberg, kicked off in 1993, and then we've had various iterations of this franchise over the past few decades, and throughout the 90s, there were, I think, 3 total Jurassic Park films, and then there was about a 15-year gap, and then in 2015, the franchise was reignited with Jurassic World, with Chris Pratt leading those films. And so this is the 3rd film in the Jurassic World trilogy. And in this one, they're bringing back all the original crew from the first Jurassic Park. You have Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum all coming together. And so they're kind of blending the generations here. Similarly to how we saw the Star Wars sequel trilogy, that kind of blended the generations.
Right.
And so this is going to appeal to audiences of all ages, fans of the original, but also bringing in new fans who are, who have developed a relationship with this set of characters in this trilogy.
Now, so wow, so now I have a choice. Do I go see Top Gun or go see But that's not the only ones.
It's not.
There's more.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, carry on.
So,
you're doing well. You've got my interest up.
Yeah, so July 8th, we have Thor, Love and Thunder. This is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we're more than 25 films deep and like
Wow.
13 years, 14 years in this franchise now. And this one, Thor, Love and Thunder has got Chris Hemsworth, of course, as the God of Thunder himself. You also have blending the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise into this. And then you have incredible cast members like Russell Crowe is going to be playing Zeus in this. And I mean, what more can you say? Russell Crowe is Zeus. You have Christian Bale, Academy Award winner. He's going to be playing, just some obscure comic book character that I'm not quite familiar with. But I know Christian Bale is just, whenever he's in a project, I'm completely on board. And this is directed by Taika Waititi, who directed the last Thor film, Thor Ragnarok, and he also won an Oscar a few years ago for writing, I think it was Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. So a lot of talent both in front of and behind the camera for Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah, and I've seen Jojo Rabbit, so I agree
Yeah.
with that. I'd forgotten that that's who that was.
That's right.
Awesome. So I hope he's brought that was creative. I hope he's
It
brought
was.
some of that creativeness to this as well, because I liked Ragnarok.
Most definitely.
So that was pretty cool. So I guess, are these the big 3 for the summer, perhaps, or are there a big 4 or a big 5 or a big 6? Or
I think these are the big 3 that are going to, do the most as far as just blockbusters. But I think there is another film that has potential to maximize its profit. Is Nope, directed by Jordan Peele. So Jordan Peele directed Get Out and Us, which were 2 psychological thriller, kind of social commentary films, and this one looks to be along the same lines. And the thing with Peele is that his films are made for very low budget, somewhere in the $10 to $20 million range, and they end up making like 250, 300 million worldwide. So, compared to the other blockbusters that have massive budgets, these have much smaller budgets, but, reach an audience, and they know the audience they're going for, and they're able to kind of, hit that profit and definitely, clear the margins there.
Wow, so that's cool. Now, because the ones you named are they're films that people know.
Right.
They're films that people recognize and whatever else. And you're right, they're those kind of thrillers that draw you in and keep your interest. And so yeah, it's kind of a niche, but he knows how to hit that and hit it well and really draw in the audience that loves that, because it's a tight film.
Most certainly.
It's one of those that when you watch it, it's like, yeah, all of those that you're talking about, it's just like you're just on like, wow, whoa, that just happened. Whoa, okay, wait a minute, that happened over here, and it keeps you thinking the whole time you're there watching it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't freak you out a little bit. I was about to say, well, I'll take that back. Freak you out a little bit. Now, is this going to be a freak out movie, or is this more of a suspense? Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. So July 22nd is the official release date for this. And from what it looks like, it's going to be somewhat of an alien invasion type film, but not your like action-packed alien invasion. More something along the lines of like M. Night Shyamalan. I think Signs was kind of an alien film, but it's not going to be. You don't go to this just for it to be action-packed. You're going for it for the slow burn, the the thrills. So yeah.
And he's good at that.
He is.
Okay, now the name of it again is?
It's called Nope. N-O-P-E. Nope.
All right, so and that's going to be one that's out this summer as well. See, you get to go see all these movies, then you get to talk about them. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a great life. It really is.
So how did you get so hooked into movies and doing all this?
Well, my father's Noel Manning,
and
enough
said.
Actually, my first year at Gardner Webb, I just took his class just for fun, and I thought, have an elective here to take, so I'll take my dad's film criticism class. And at that point, I wasn't tremendously interested in movies. It was just kind of, I was looking for a new hobby, and I just fell in love with it. And 4 or 5 years later, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, I'll go to Top Gun, I'll go to Jurassic Park, and I'll go to Thor: Love and Thunder, and I'll be thinking about you the whole time I'm there. I thought, wow, that's what Thomas said, so
Yes, sir.
it's going to be awesome. But we'll have to have you back on our show again and talk about films again, because I'm enjoying this.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
I am too. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being here today. All right, and thank you for being here for the first part of our show, but you can't leave yet, because there's more talk of the town right after this.